Hello everyone, my name is Lim Xue Song and my matrix number is H2182757. Today, our group will do a financial statement analysis presentation. For this presentation, we have chosen two hotel companies. It is Genting Malaysia Berhad and Shangri-La Hotels Malaysia Berhad. Both companies are excellent in the hospitality industry in Malaysia. For a company, financial statement analysis is very important. The purpose of financial statement analysis is to have a correct corporate performance evaluation for the realization of corporate strategic goals, and for the company to have a good development in the industry. After this part, our team will conduct a comprehensive analysis of the two companies using the ratio analysis method of trend and comparative. And then we will choose which company is better.
Hi, my name is NURUL IZZAH. My matric number is H21A2539. I will present to you the background of the companies. First, I will present the background of Genting Malaysia Berhad. The Genting Group is one of Malaysia's largest and most prominent corporations. Genting Malaysia Berhad was established in 1980 and is listed on the Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad. The casino at Resort World Genting is well known because it is the only licensed establishment of its kind in Malaysia. The resort complex also has a number of hotels, including the First World Hotel, which had the title of largest hotel in the world from 2006 to 2018 according to Guinness World Record. Next, the background of Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad. A division of Shangri-La Asia Limited, the main holding company for the Shangri-La Group is Shangri-La Hotels Malaysia Berhad. Shangri-La Hotels Malaysia Berhad is dedicated to environmentally responsible operations. The organization carries out a number of activities to reduce its negative environmental effects, save resources, and assist regional people. Shangri-La Hotels Malaysia Berhad has established itself as a key participant in the Malaysian hospitality sector thanks to its opulent lodgings, fast facilities, and dedication to equality.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is FARHANAZ AZWIN, BINTI AZMAN. I'm student first year, semester 2. I'm from class L3T2 and my ID number is HFT20303. I will present trend analysis for company Genting Malaysia Berhad. Alright, for ratio number 1 is the liquidity ratios and the current ratios. If you look at the slide, the current ratio determines whether a company is profitable. For current ratio for company Genting Malaysia Berhad in 2020 is 1.161 for 9/7, increased to 1.433373 in 2021. So for quick ratios is a measure of a company's ability to meet short-term commitments. Quick ratios in 2020 was 174, increased to 413.759 in 2021. And networking for company Malaysia Genting is the difference between a company's current assets, cash, account, receivable, loans, and current liability. For in 2020, net working capital is 242.1, increasing to 729.80. Now let's look at the activity ratios. For this company, the assets turnover ratios compare the value of a company assets to the value of its sales or revenue. For this company, assets turnover in 2020 was 0.125654, decreased to 0.058501 for year 2021. Next, the account receivable turnover in 2020 is 12.23662, decreased to 4.918075 for year 2021. So the account receivable turnover is an accounting metric that measures how well a firm collects money owned by customer or client. Next, average collections periods for year 2020 is 29.8285, increased to 74.21604 for year 2021. So business use the average collections period to ensure that they have adequate cash to hand to make their financial obligations. Inventory turnover is a financial statistic that indicates how many times a company's inventory has been sold and replaced in a particular period. For company Genting Malaysia Berhad, the inventory turnover is 49.44514 in 2020, decreased to 20.19.856 in 2021. And the last one for activity ratio is fixed assets turnover. Is often used in analysis to determine operating performance. These efficiency ratios compare net sale to fixed assets to measure a company's ability to generate net sales from fixed assets investments such as property, plants, and equipment. So for this company, fixed accounts turnover in 2020 is 0.135019, decreased to 0.064394 for years 2021. Okay, now let's look at the leverage or debt ratio. The word debt ratio refers to a financial ratio that calculates a company's leverage. The debt ratio is defined as a decimal or percentage ratio of total debts to total asset. For this company in 2020, the debt ratio was increased to years 2021. Next, debt to equity. The debt to equity ratio calculates financial leverage by dividing a company's total liability by its shareholder equity. Debt to ratio in 2020 was increasing to years 2021. Alright, the last ratios for this analysis for this company is leverage or debt ratios. Return on assets for this company increased to from year 2020 to 2021. Next, the return on equity is a financial performance indicator that is computed by dividing net income by shareholder equity. And return on equity in 2020 is increased to 2021. Next, the gross profit ratios. For this company is a financial metric that compares a company performance by efficiency by dividing its gross profit by total net sale. And gross profit margin for this company in 2020 was increased to year 2021. And after describing operational expenditures such as labor, depreciations, and cost of goods sold, operating income is an accounting statistic that reflects the amount of profit realized from a business activity. For operating profit, margin in 2020 is increased from year 2020 to 2021. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I am NURAMNI AMIRAH BINTI ISMAIL. My ID matric number is HFT20303. I want to present about trend analysis from company Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad. For the first one is liquidity ratio. For current ratio, into 2020 is 1.151171, decreased to 0.9352224 in 2021. For the quit ratio, into 2020 was 75304.99, decreased to 65776.99 in 2021. For net working capital, in 2020, net working capital was 9889.00, decreased to negative 4556.00. The next part is activity ratio. They have 5 activity ratio. The first one is total asset turnover. In 2020 is 0.059124, decreasing to 0.035854 in 2021. Second is account receivable turnover. In 2020 was 0.60883345, decreased to 0.422318 in 2021. The third, average collection period. Average collection period is 599.9988 in 2020, increasing to 864.4547 in 2021. The fourth is inventory turnover. Inventory turnover in 2020 was 1.052326, decreasing to 42.501736 in 2021. The last one for activity ratio is turnover. Fixed asset turnover was 0.06617, decreased to 0.0397147 in 2021. Leverage debt ratio. The first one, debt ratio, is 0.0973112 in 2020, increased to 0.1073734 in 2021. For debt to equity, in 2020 was 0.1078015, increased to 0.1202292 in 2021. The last part of trend analysis is profitability ratio. The first one is return on asset, or ROA. In 2020 is 0.183647, increased to 0.415645 in 2021. Next, return on equity, ROE. In 2020, return on equity is negative 0.019797, increased to 0.049998 in 2021. For the last one is operating profit margin. Operating profit margin in 2020 was negative 0.445377, increased to negative 1386218 in 2021.
My name is Franklin and Ejam. My student metric number is H1A2052. The next one is the comparative analysis. The study of this comparative analysis is the purpose to aim the which company is better for the liquidity ratios, average activity ratios, leverage and debt, and the profitability ratios. For the liquidity ratios at the year 2020, Genting Malaysia Berhad is the highest or the greater value rather than Shangri-La Hotel for the current ratios, quick ratios, and the net working capital. For the current ratios, the higher value is the 1.161, and for the Shangri-La Hotel is 1.151. And while for the liquidity ratios at the year 2021, Genting Malaysia Berhad at the current ratios is more greater value from the Shangri-La hotels. But however, the Shangri-La hotel has the advantage, which is they can pay their short-term obligation due to they have the lower current ratios. For the quick ratios, the Genting Malaysia Berhad is recorded more efficient to operate the business operation during the systematic risk, which is the pandemic COVID during the 2020-21. The quick ratio is recorded 2.441, while for the Shangri-La is recorded 6.57. For the net working capital, Genting Malaysia Berhad is the lower, while for the Shangri-La Hotel is the highest, which means the Shangri-La Hotel is able to manage the inventory control rather than as compared to the Genting Malaysia Berhad. The second comparative analysis is the activity ratios for the years 2020 for both companies. For the total asset turnover, Genting Malaysia Berhad is recorded 0.126, and for the Shangri-La Hotel is recorded 0.059, which is below the 1. And this means the Genting Malaysia Berhad is greater than Shangri-La Hotels. For account receivable, Genting Malaysia Berhad is higher than Shangri-La Hotel, which is 12.2, and for the Shangri-La Hotel is 0.6. For average collection, Shangri-La Hotel is greater value, which is 599.997 as compared to the Genting Malaysia Berhad, which recorded 29.8. For inventory turnover, the Shangri-La Hotel has recorded 81.052, which is greater value than 49.445 for Genting Malaysia Berhad. For the fixed asset turnover, both companies are below than 1, but however, the Genting Malaysia Berhad is still the highest, which is 0.13 as compared to the Shangri-La 0.066. Equity ratios for 2021. For asset turnover, both company is Genting Malaysia Berhad recorded 0.05, while for the Shangri-La Hotel is recorded the lower value, which is 0.03. The Genting Malaysia Berhad has enough current total asset to generate revenue as compared to the Shangri-La Hotels. For the account receivable, the Genting Malaysia Berhad is still the highest, which is 4.9 as compared to the Shangri-La 0.4. For the average collection, Shangri-La Hotel is the highest, which is 864.4 as compared to the Genting Malaysia Berhad 74.31, while for the inventory turnover, the Shangri-La Hotel is still the highest, which is 42.5501 as compared to the Genting Malaysia Berhad only 22.919, which means the Shangri-La Hotel is reducing the amount of capital in order to greater than Genting Malaysia Berhad, and they are more accurate. For the fixed asset turnover, the both companies recorded the below than 1, but however, Genting Malaysia Berhad is still the highest, which is 0.06 as compared to the Shangri-La Hotel 0.03.
And then it's the leverage or debt ratio at year 2020. The first one is the debt ratio. The debt ratio of Genting Malaysia Berhad is 0.352. It's higher than Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad. And the second one is the debt to equity ratio. The debt to equity ratio of Genting Malaysia Berhad is 0.543. It's higher than Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad. The last one is the time interest earned ratio. The time interest earned ratio of Genting Malaysia Berhad is 1.529. It's lower than Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad. It's 8.676. And the next one is at year 2021 of leverage or debt ratio. The number one is the debt ratio. The debt ratio of Shangri-La is the highest value than Genting. It's showing the company has more assets than liabilities as compared to Genting Malaysia Berhad. The second one is the debt to equity ratio. The debt to equity ratio of Shangri-La Hotels has greater risks rather than Genting Malaysia Berhad. And the last one is the time interest earned ratio. The time interest earned ratio of Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad is greater risks of debt capacity as compared to Genting Malaysia Berhad.
So let me continue the presentation with profitability ratio. So the first one is return on equity. Return on equity Genting Malaysia Berhad is negative 0.018%, is higher than Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad, negative 0.02. After that is return on assets. Return on asset of Genting Malaysia Berhad is negative 0.011, is higher than Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad, and the percentage is negative 0.018. For the third part is gross profit margin. Gross profit margin of Genting Malaysia Berhad is 0.678, is lower than Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad, and the percentage is 3.296%. And the last part is operating profit margin. The operating profit margin of Genting Malaysia Berhad 0.123, is lower than Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad 3.195.
Comparative analysis for profitability ratios in 2020. For gross profit margin of Genting Malaysia Berhad is lower than Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad, which is Genting Malaysia Berhad only get 0.678, meanwhile Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad get 3.296. Next, the operating profit margin of Genting Malaysia Berhad is lower than Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad, which is Genting Malaysia Berhad get 0.123. Meanwhile, Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad get 3.195. Next, comparative analysis for profitability ratios in 2021. For gross profit margin, Shangri-La Hotel was totally loose and Genting Malaysia Berhad are still raised with 0.4117 Malaysia Ringgit. After that, operating profit margin, Genting Malaysia more efficiently managing their operating expenses, which record 0.46137 Malaysia Ringgit and lower than Shangri-La Hotels. Overall analysis, Genting Malaysia Berhad are expected still better option to make an investment because the company are less of ratio decreased. Only activity ratios and profitability ratio was decreased for the year 2020 to 2021. Although both company are same data of increase and decrease, Genting Malaysia Berhad are getting lower impact of the systematic risk, while Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad was record the highest impact ratio scale. Genting Malaysia Berhad have a positive ratios performance as compared to Shangri-La Hotels.
Organizational achievement. For the example, Genting Malaysia Berhad and Shangri-La Hotel Malaysia Berhad must reduce the cost of operating expenses and capital expenses so that each company can control the value of liability at a low level in the short term. And lastly, the operational journey will be more planned. Thank you.